right? So we're going to see like what type of incentives can be given here. Okay. Now, so we're going to read first, then so that you can know whether ABC is what is what type of incentives I can give to ABC. So I'll come back here. Just want to show you like you must be aware what's the requirement. You need to be aware. Okay, take a look at this. So holding company ABC operates an established oil palm plantation. ABC sells its entire crude palm oil output. Its wholly owned subsidiary DF. We refine into specialty oils. Okay, so ABC sells all this, the wholly owned subsidiary. Yeah. Okay. Now, when you see this, both ABC and DF are very profitable companies. Now, it just means you may want to use this. I'm not saying that always you can use. And we see very profitable companies, it just means that if we got CA and incentives, we can claim them immediately, right? So just bear that in your mind. You may want to use, you may not want to use for profitable companies. Okay, and we see that we are looking at this immediate savings through CA and incentives. The word very profitable or profitable. Okay? So what it means is that for these companies, I must search for incentives so I can reduce my tax. For these companies, I have to search for incentives so that the tax can be reduced. Okay? You must be aware of that. So second paragraph, ABC wants to carry out research and development. Okay? This production of poultry-free is as a promoted product, so I can claim status of ITA. Remember, even the R&D company, if we want to claim ITA, it must be a promoted product. Okay, it has to be a promoted product. Okay. So this is what they plan to spend. Okay, right? When you see this straight away, you know that the 3 million must be capital. The 3 million cannot be revenue. So you cannot recognize revenue expenditure. You cannot recognize revenue expenditure. I cannot recognize revenue incentive. Okay, right? You cannot recognize revenue incentive. You must know that it is capital. Okay, and then manpower and fees to carry out the R&D. This is revenue. That's correct. Okay, so when you see it straight away, you must know what type of incentive I can do it. Okay, Now, so now I go back here. It's short, but it's not so easy. Okay, if R&D is carried out by ABC, so once you look at the nature of expenses, okay, you must be able to identify which incentive can be claimed. Okay? Once the nature of expenses is determined, you must be able to identify which incentive can be claimed. Okay, so we'll move on. So you see this ABC, don't worry about the poultry feed. Now look at the first one. Capital is in-house R&D. Revenue is approved R&D. Okay. So you must be able to see that. You have to be able to see that. Now you must. I'm going to tell you which one. You must know. So earlier I told you that here my teaching notes there. You must know what are the incentives under Income Tax Act, what are the incentives under PIA, and whether they are, what do you call that, whether they are mutually exclusive or not. These two are not mutually exclusive. Okay, we're going to look at the answer. See, you couldn't come, is it? All those hard questions, no, I think when you're free, you better watch the video or just look at the whatever teaching notes I sent. Okay, but you must take care, no, now it's like everywhere, yeah, that's why it's very tiring. Okay, now let's move on. No, I was just asking somebody in class why they didn't come. Sorry. Not really hot lah. I mean, questions I did yesterday were challenging. It's actually very hard to spot things. It's very difficult to spot. It's, it's the same topics, but it's a harder way they test it. Okay. So start off with the format. I think you're okay with it. So you must mention approved R&D. Okay. So like I said, bring in the definition of R&D and bring in that it is qualifying R&D activity. Approved R&D and also qualifying R&D activity. Yes, because they ask you which type of incentive it is. So you must take a stand, you must put that it's approved R&D. Yes. Right? The first one, they didn't tell you the 3 million, sorry, the 4 million. But you must be able to recognize that you can claim a double deduction for this. So now, no need to say apply to MOF, just can say that you're going to claim approved R&D status to qualify for double deduction. Now, expenses directly related to research. Nowadays it's good to mention that it's connected to the business. Last time, no need. Okay, it's good to mention it's connected to the business. Now, no need. So, also need to mention that it's a resident company. Okay, and you see, for R&D, generally the answers also evaluate CA. I'll come to that later in the calculations. In general, the R&D, the answers also evaluate the CA. Okay, now for the capital, you have to talk about in-house R&D, and then you must bring up all the rules. No choice, right? So it's an exercise in memory. Do you remember or not? So I will take ITA, investment tax allowance of 50%, set off against 70%. Okay, 50% set off against 70%. Okay, so it is under ABC. Next one. Okay, now buy a new company X solely to carry out R&D work to cater the research needs of ABC and subsequently DF. So ABC is holding DF, you should know. Okay, now ABC also wants to hold company X. So they are not telling you the one in blue, but you must realize it. Company X is R&D company. If claim investment tax allowance, what is the effect? Okay, claim investment tax allowance, what is the effect? If not claim investment tax allowance, what is the effect? Right? So you claim investment tax allowance, what's the effect? If you do not claim it, what is the effect? Right now, they're not telling you, but you must bring it. Once you see R&D company, you need to bring this. Okay? First of all, you must recognize R&D company provides for related companies and also outsiders. And you must remember R&D, the related is at least 20%. I don't have the conditions like the transfer pricing. Okay. So here, revenue. So ABC Group. Okay, this one I will still 1A. Unless the scenario is specific, like the progress test 1, okay, the progress test 1, the scenario say you claim ITA. So it's very straightforward. But if they are silent, you must evaluate both incentives. Right? For R&D, if question is silent, you need to evaluate, you need to evaluate one, R&D company, claim ITA, two, R&D company is not claiming ITA. Okay? You must also relate to the treatment of related company. Must also relate to the tax treatment of the related company. This one many times I've already told you. It must also relate to the tax treatment of the related company. For both of the above scenarios. Yeah, so you must know this. Okay, so that's what is happening here. Now, you don't need to write so detailed. First, you have to prove that's an R&D company. Okay. Then, what are the rates? ITA at the rate of 100% of QP. set off against 70% of statutory income. Unabsorbed amount may be carried forward. Okay, now, for a related company, see, if you are claiming ITA, ABC is eligible for single deduction. That is one mark. But again, right, you must mention, provided it's, okay, sorry, you don't have to mention because you are paying the R&D company, sorry, yeah, you need to mention the services received meet the definition of R&D and like a qualifying R&D activity when we want to claim. Okay, like I said, remember whenever you want to claim single or double deduction, it would be good to mention this. Whenever you want to claim single or double deduction, mention the expenditure fulfills definition of R&D and is a qualifying R&D activity. Okay, so last paragraph of the answer, company X may opt for the status of R&D company without applying for ITA. So this makes the ABC to claim double deduction. We already done this in the class many times. If R&D company claims ITA, related company, single deduction. If R&D company does not claim ITA, ABC will claim double deduction. So you must bring up these two scenarios if question is silent. Okay, you need to bring up the two scenarios if the question is silent. Okay, next one. Production of poultry feed. So the production of poultry feed is listed as a promoted product. Okay. For this production of poultry feed, this is a capital expenditure, so we look at this, what they want to ask. Now, I've already given you a clue. IDF as a diversification project under Income Tax Act. Once you see under Income Tax Act, it has to be RA, cannot be Pioneer or ITA as not under the Promotion of Investments Act. Okay, so you have to be careful. So it cannot be RE, because sorry, it cannot be Pioneer or ITA, because those are not under the Promotion of Investment Act. So, why another new company Y, incorporated as a 100% subsidiary of ABC, intends to apply for new incentives under Income Tax Act or Promotion of Investment Act. Now, new company, no RA. So all this you must know. Okay, if you cannot relate, there's no way you're gonna get through. If you cannot relate. Okay, by now I hope you can really relate. Okay, so for this part B, assume the poultry feed business will take 36 months of operation to become profitable. So this is not beneficial to claim pioneer. Okay, what it means, it's not beneficial to claim pioneer. Because the poultry feed is also a promoted product. So I got no choice, I have ITA. Okay, so all this you have to be very alert. Because pioneer, useless if I have losses. Right, it's going to reduce my pioneer exam income and it defeats the purpose of me claiming pioneer. It defeats the purpose. Okay, it defeats the purpose. Okay, now be careful. I mean, not be careful. Be aware of this. Okay, now, so for DF, we are looking at RA. So you have to prove that proof of diversification is needed. Okay, better to prove. Now, how can I prove? Very simple. What is DF doing? DF is doing specialty oils. Now they are doing poultry feed. Uh, so they want to transform the poultry feed into. Okay, wait, let me see. They want to transform SDF as a diversification project under Income Tax Act. Okay, let's go through again. Okay. Sells entire crude plant oil output to its wholly owned subsidiary DF to be refined into specialty oils. Okay, so I don't really see the diversification here. But never mind. Because they already told you as a diversification project, so you just accept. very hard to see is diversification. So try to give some proof. It's a related company, but they are doing refined oil. Right now they are using the palm oil. They are producing refined palm oil from the crude palm oil. So they are now producing specialty oils. Oh, I think I know why it's diversification, because it's related to the food industry. Hmm. Ah. Hmm. Okay. The group is planning to carry out to enable them to process and recycle waste products into high-grade poultry feed. Can also lah. That also can be accepted because they are now. But I'm just looking at what DF is doing currently. I'm not, because the second paragraph is talking about the group, so we do not know, right? Anyway, don't worry because they already told you it's diversification. Uh, so you don't have to, but if you can try to find the proof, what it's doing. Okay? So if you can try to find the proof, but because both are in the food industry, uh, why I'm thinking that it is diversification. So please, RA, if you got unabsorbed, put 7 years. Uh, RA conditions, you should be expert. I don't have to say further. RA conditions, should be expert. I don't have to let you know further. Yeah, correct. No, this is not expansion. Expansion is the very same product. Or expansion could be uh, the product which is, first of all, the product which is exactly the same. Okay? Or very close. Let's say expansion, you are producing a similar type of, let's say, a glove. Uh, that could also be expansion. Diversification is like, there's a slight difference, but it's related. Okay. So, absorb RE use 7 years, tutorial note, just leave it. The new company, why? You already say cannot be pioneer because there are losses. So you have to brave and write it down there. Mm. Okay? 3 years before it becomes profitable, so no use for pioneer. All these are knowledge that you want to see. So if you're unable to see, then it's a bit hard. But they want to see all this. Okay. IT, 60% of QPE, set off against 70%. Okay. So same thing. But IT unabsorbed is not 7 years, please. Unabsorbed IT is not 7 years. So, quite manageable. Okay, we'll move on. Now, you see, they're just trying to make it better because you don't have statutory income for the first 3 years. So, doesn't matter lah. They're just looking at it broadly. You cannot be perfect, right? As long as you mention the general conditions. Okay, now we are going to part C, the computation of tax savings. So 1C. Right, always right based on the past year, not but not for incentive question. Incentive questions, CA is not included. Right? Based on most of the past years, but you didn't see that in December 2020, they didn't include. If you include also doesn't matter. It's okay. Based on most of the past year, the CA is included in computing the tax savings. Right now, what you must be aware, and also what I told you, so it does not mean this is computed for the whole project. That is 100% claim. Think about it. Okay, we'll move on. Now, take a look here. So, they just asked you to compute recommendation in D. Okay. Okay, now, the R&D expenses carried out by AB. Okay. So, the first one is double deduction. 8,000. So 4 million times 2. Now this 4 million is from the revenue one. Here, 4 million revenue. Okay. And we have in-house R&D, 3 million times 50%. Sorry? Why times 2? Because double deduction. Double deduction multiplied by 2. Okay, so house R&D, we have the investment tax allowance 3 million at 50%, and also the CA claim R&D equipment at 100%. So they are not using 2010 or 2014. They are using for the whole project. Why? Now, this was written down in the answer for December 14 question 1. Because they say we take the full claim, but capital allowance is claimed on a deferred relief. That means it's partially. You are not going to get the 3 million immediately. You are going to get it throughout the life. So remember, allowance multiplied by 24%. Okay, allowance multiplied by 24%, remember that. Okay, now that's R&D carried out by ABC. R&D carried out by company X. Now, if it's carried out by company X, so I have to do two calculations. One, company X claim the ITA. So capital 3 million, and I must evaluate as a group. So the other thing you must be aware of, also, the evaluation of incentive is based on a group basis. Is based on a group basis, the evaluation of the incentive.